They sent her as a joke. A mean trick, wrapped in fancy royal cloth, delivered across space with a smile the whole empire could see. The daughter nobody wanted, given to a faraway human colony as if she were bad trash. But in the dim workshop under Titan's orange skies, where oily hands built amazing things from junk, one man saw what empires couldn't. That sometimes the universe sends exactly what you need, dressed up as everything you never wanted. Before we start, subscribe now so you don't miss more amazing stories like this one. Oh, and before we start, tell us in the comments, where are you watching this video from? We love hearing from you and always read every message. The spaceship came down through Titan's gas clouds like a falling star wrapped in hate. Marcus Chen wiped grease from his hands and watched from the repair shop as the shiny alien ship landed on landing pad 7 with impossible smoothness. He'd been expecting parts, important pieces for the air machines that kept New Cascade's 30,000 colonists breathing. Instead, the list read diplomatic transfer, imperial custody. Governor Castellanos arrived looking very worried, his face white. Chen, the Draconians have sent us a person, a princess actually. Marcus put down his cutting tool. We asked for filter parts. Yes, well, Emperor Vorak has decided to honor our treaty request with what he calls a gesture of deep cultural exchange. The workshop doors opened and she walked in. Marcus felt the air change. She was draconian, green skin like jade, pretty ridges along her jawline, dark hair moving with smooth grace. But where the few draconian visitors he'd seen were tall and very thin, she was bigger, with curves. Her body showed weight and presence in a culture that clearly loved being skinny. In her golden eyes, Marcus saw something he knew well, the tiredness of being unwanted. This is Princess Kalira, 7th daughter of Emperor Vorak, Castellanos announced. She'll be staying with us forever. Chen, you'll be in charge of helping her fit in. After the governor ran away, Marcus walked up to her carefully. I'm Marcus. I fix life support here. I'm sorry about all this. She looked at him with those gold eyes, her voice having musical sounds that turned simple words into songs. You have nothing to be sorry for, mechanic. Shame is mine to carry. I understand I am not what was expected. In my culture, being too big is being weak, she continued quietly. I am the opposite of good. Sounds like a culture that needs better ideas, Marcus said before he could stop himself. Her eyes got bigger. Then something surprising happened. She almost smiled. He showed her to changed storage rooms. One narrow bed, basic bathroom, a window looking out at the factory area where oil plants glowed against Titan's dusky sky. On Draconia Prime, the Imperial Palace has 7,000 rooms, she said at the window. I was given one in the lowest level where servants live. This is bigger. Something in Marcus's chest hurt. While you're here, you're under my protection. Anyone has a problem with you, they answer to me. Those golden eyes searched his face for the joke, the meanness. Why would you do that? You don't know me. I fix things. It's what I do. And I'm good at seeing what's broken versus what's just been treated badly. That night, Marcus saw the Emperor's answer to Kalira's message home. Your presence there is the point, daughter. Suffer well. Standing in the quiet workshop, Marcus felt anger start. Something slow, hot, dangerous. 2 days later, the colony cafeteria got silent when Kalira walked into the food line. Diego Raw, a cargo worker built for scaring people, had been making comments about the fat alien since she arrived. Today, he said them right to her. Princess Piggy actually showed up, Raw announced to his table. What's wrong, sweetheart? They not feeding you enough on the mothership? I heard her daddy sent her here as a joke. Here, humans take our trash. Raw, shut up, Marcus said, crossing the cafeteria. What's the matter, Chen? You got a crush on the whale?" Before things got worse, Kalira's voice rang out. Clear, musical, unbothered. "Your worry is sweet, Mr. Raw, but I'm quite able to pick my own food." She moved to an empty table with surprising smoothness and began eating with formal politeness that made everyone else look like wild animals. Marcus joined her without asking. "You don't have to pretend to care," she said quietly. "I'm used to eating alone. Marcus. My name's Marcus, and I'm not pretending anything." They ate in silence until Marcus spoke. "Colony food is awful, isn't it?" "On Draconia, meals are thought of as weakness," Kalira said. "The royal family eats once daily, tiny amounts. Food is fuel, nothing more. When I was young, I used to sneak into servant areas to share their real food with spices and happiness. Everyone knew, but I was the embarrassment nobody wanted, so they let me. Another way I was not perfect. Your father really sent you here as an insult." "My father has 12 daughters and 7 sons. The oldest ones lead armies. The middle children run trade areas. I passed all my tests at the Imperial Academy in the top scores." She looked at him. None of it mattered. "I was fat, so worthless. He sent a message to your people. This is what we think you're worth. I'm the insult, not who receives it." Raw's voice got loud again. "Hey, princess, when your ship took off, did they have to fix the fake gravity?" The cafeteria burst into laughter. Kalira stood and walked out with careful dignity, laughter washing over her like poison rain. Marcus's fist hit Raw in the stomach. As the cargo worker gasped for air, Marcus leaned close. "I keep people breathing for a living, Raw, which means I know exactly how to stop them." Marcus found Kalira 3 hours later in his workshop. She had taken apart his main scanner tool and was looking at each piece with careful attention. "That's 40,000 credits of equipment," he said carefully. "Your backup power part is wearing out," she said without looking up. 3% mistake in test results. It can be fixed, or you can keep using broken tests until you kill everyone in sections 4 through 9, when oxygen cleaners fail." Marcus stood there, rethinking everything he thought he knew. "You're an engineer." "I was trained in 17 technical subjects before my father decided I was too embarrassing to invest in. Draconian royal children master many subjects by age 12. I passed all tests in the top scores." Her voice stayed flat. "None of it mattered. I was fat, so my achievements didn't count." Marcus sat beside her. "Show me what you're seeing." They worked for an hour, Kalira's understanding going far beyond his training. She explained hard science like talking about weather. "At the Imperial Academy, top of my class for 3 years, she said. "They created a special award to avoid giving me traditional honors. Recognition despite physical problems. My sister, who placed 20th, got the Medal of Excellence. I got applause and a suggestion to do office work." "Your father's an idiot," Marcus said. "Any leader who wastes talent because of looks is running on silly beliefs." Kalira laughed, a real laugh that filled the workshop like music. "You're very strange, Marcus Chen." By the time they finished, they'd not only fixed the scanner but made it work 12% better. "Thank you," she said softly, "for treating me like I might actually be useful." "You are useful. You're brilliant." That night, Kalira felt something she'd almost forgotten. Hope. 3 weeks later, everything changed. Governor Castellanos burst into the workshop where Marcus and Kalira were working. "I need you both now." In his office, Ambassador Jakaris waited, tall, thin, elegant, looking at them with hate. "Your colony has had a 37% increase in air failures," he announced. "Such poor work looks bad for our treaty. Your life support is failing, and you want more trade access. Maybe the Empire should rethink this settlement's future." His eyes found Kalira. Tell me, princess, are these primitives treating you well? They've been fine, Ambassador. Your father will be glad you've gotten used to fine. Jakaris smiled sharply. I have a proposal, a test of your colony's technical skill. I've prepared a systems challenge, a test problem any skilled draconian engineer could solve in an afternoon. Complete it successfully, and I'll recommend continued treaty support. Fail and this colony ends. He showed a mean diagram, dozens of connected system failures falling like dominoes. A pretend air processor failure, many problems happening at once. Find the main cause and provide a fix before total collapse. You have 6 hours. Marcus studied the purposely confusing design, his stomach dropping. Ambassador, our entire staff couldn't, Castellanos started. Then you're not good enough. Jakaris turned to Kalira. Do try not to embarrass yourself more, princess. I'd hate to report that even these humans found you useless. After he left, Dr. Tanaka, head of environmental systems, opened her computer. This is impossible, even with our full team. It's doable, Kalira said quietly. Everyone stared. It's hard, on purpose but solvable. She looked at Marcus with fierce determination. I'll need your full test equipment, modeling software, and about 4 liters of coffee. I'm going to save your colony and show Ambassador Gutaris that some of us understand the difference between being great and looking elegant. Do I have access to your systems? Marcus thought about 30,000 people whose next breath depended on this. Everything you need. I'll help. Good. She was already moving. He gave us 6 hours. We're doing it in 4. Why 4? Kalira smiled. Fierce, sharp, certain. Because I'm going to make him wait. They worked through Titan's deep night. Dr. Tanaka brought her team together, but within an hour it became clear Kalira worked on a completely different level. The failure starts here, she said, pointing to a connection point. Not at oxygen production. Jakaris wanted you chasing obvious signs while the real problem loses pressure in the cooling system. But tests show, an engineer started. The tests lie. The sensor machines are messed up by electric interference. This mistake pattern matches the power core sounds. The sensors read noise as pressure loss. Marcus watched her work like a master artist, every movement building toward a picture none of them could see. Around hour 2, he asked quietly, "Why are you doing this? If the colony fails, you could go home." Her hands stopped. "You think I want to go back where I'm worth less than garbage? If this fails, there is no home. I drift forever." She paused. "I'm doing this because for the first time in my life, someone treated me like I might be useful. You sat with me at lunch. You protected me. You listened. No one, not my teachers, siblings, or father, has ever listened to me the way you did. You're brilliant. Why wouldn't I listen? Because I'm also fat, and everywhere I've been, that single fact erases everything else." By hour 4, they had it, a complete solution tested through 1,000 computer tests, showing stable air processing and better efficiency, beating imperial standards. "We're done," Kalira announced 1 hour early. The workshop burst into cheers. 20 minutes later, Jakaris arrived expecting disaster. "I trust you've seen how impossible this is," he said. "Actually," Dr. Tanaka stepped forward, "we've completed a full test and solution plan." She showed their work, the electric interference finding, the heat buffer solution. Through it all, Jakaris stayed unreadable. "Interesting," he said finally. "Your solution is very similar to draconian quantum technology." His eyes found Kalira. "Tell me, princess, did you help?" Kalira stepped forward. "I gave advice on heat science. The humans found the main problem and designed the solution. I only confirmed their approach was good. Any skilled physicist could have given the same advice. It was technically true and completely misleading. So you were barely helpful. How perfectly like you, Princess, Jakaris said with cruel happiness. He knew exactly what she'd done and was letting her hide behind putting herself down because it fit his story. Your solution is good enough. I'll recommend continued support. He paused at the door. Though I'm disappointed you stay happy with good enough, Princess. After he left, the team celebrated. But Marcus found Kalira at her window an hour later, watching gas rainfall. You let him think you were useless. Why? Because if I'd taken credit, he'd have rejected the solution. Draconian rules are complicated. If I showed skill, he could have argued I gave Imperial technology without permission. Your colony would have been punished, possibly closed. So you protected us by looking weak. I protected you by being what everyone expects, the useless princess. It's what I'm good at, disappearing while staying visible. He walked to her. No. What you're good at is solving impossible problems, seeing patterns no one else can see, being brilliant while everyone's too blind to notice. He touched her shoulder gently. I see you, Kalira. I see what you did tonight, and I won't forget it. Her eyes got bigger, gold catching orange light. She put her hand over his. Cooler than human, warm but solid, real. Thank you, she whispered, for seeing me. 6 weeks passed like a dream. Marcus and Kalira worked together 12 hours daily. Colony systems did great under her quiet help. They shared coffee in early hours when faraway sunlight painted everything orange. They talked about everything. His Earth childhood, her draconian loneliness, the miracle of finding connection across species and stars. They didn't name what they were becoming to each other. That felt too special to look at directly. Then the holographic projector turned on without warning. The female draconian appeared, elegant beyond measure, wearing imperial purple. Princess Kalira, the figure said, voice like crystal. I am Counselor Zirath, second voice of the Imperial Science Directorate. I've watched your work with great interest. Counselor, Kalira said carefully, my work here has been small consultation only. Do not insult my intelligence with false modesty. Zirath smiled sharply. Ambassador Jakaris's challenge was sent to Imperial archives, including full workshop recordings. I've seen what you truly did. Marcus felt ice settle in his stomach. The heat buffer solution represents a 15% improvement over our Imperial standard, Zirath continued. Your cascade test method is revolutionary. You solved in 4 hours what our best engineers guessed would take weeks. You are exactly the mind the Science Directorate seeks, a mind wasted in exile. I have no interest in returning to Draconia. I'm offering you a job. Chief Systems Architect for the Science Directorate. Unlimited resources, a staff of 300 engineers, full power over building development. Zirath's expression softened. You would finally be valued for what you are, for what you can do rather than punished for how you look. The offer hung like gravity. And if I refuse, then you stay here, hiding your brilliance, pretending to be good enough while saving human colonies in shadows. How long can you keep making yourself smaller? Marcus stepped forward. She's not making herself smaller, she's choosing to be here. Zirath's look shifted to him, carrying imperial weight. Ah, the mechanic, Marcus Chen. Tell me, human, do you love her? The question hit like a punch. Beside him, Kalira went completely still. Because if you do, if you truly care for her well-being, you'd encourage her to accept. Here, she'll always be the joke princess hiding in a workshop. With us, she could be revolutionary, recognized, celebrated. Give me time to think, Kalira said. 48 hours. After that, the offer expires. And Princess, your father has been told of your abilities. He's unhappy you hid them, but he won't stop you. The Empire needs minds like yours." The message ended, leaving them in mechanical silence. "Marcus," Kalira said softly. "She asked if you loved me. You didn't answer." His heart pounded. They'd been dancing around this for weeks. "I didn't answer because I thought it was obvious." She looked at him, golden eyes wide. "Of course I love you." The words spilled out. "You're brilliant and funny, and you see the universe in ways that make me feel like I've been blind. You make terrible coffee, but you reorganized my workshop perfectly. You hum when thinking hard, and you've memorized every maintenance schedule. You stayed up 30 hours fixing water recycling because you said no one should limit showers." He stepped closer. "So yes, I love you. Probably since you took apart my test scanner and explained quantum parts like talking about weather." A tear ran down her green cheek. "But Zyrath is right," Marcus continued, "and it costs everything. You should go. You deserve to be celebrated. You deserve better than change storage and a mechanic who can barely keep up with your explanations." "Stop," Kalira whispered. "You could change everything, Marcus. Stop." She grabbed his hand. "Do you know what I was before you? Nothing. A joke. A disappointment so complete my father celebrated sending me away. I was brilliant in an empty space, achieving things no one would notice." Her voice broke. "Then you sat with me at lunch. Such a simple thing. But you listened, and you looked at me like I mattered. You do matter. I matter here, in this workshop with you. For the first time in my life, I matter not because of what I can do, but because of who I am." She pulled his hand to her face. "Zyrath offers recognition. You offer something far more valuable. You offer home. Kalira, I'm not going. I'm staying here with you because I love you too, you strange, stubborn human. And I'd rather be good enough with you than revolutionary without you." Marcus pulled her close, his arms wrapping around her solid warmth. She fit against him perfectly, and he felt her shoulders shake with silent tears. "They'll call you crazy," he said softly, "giving up that opportunity for a faraway colony and a mediocre mechanic. You're not mediocre. You're mine." She pulled back to look at him. "And I choose this. I choose you. I choose a place where I can be seen." He kissed her then, gentle, careful, tasting gas rain and coffee and something that might have been stardust. Her lips were cooler than human warm, but moved against his with certainty, with choice, with love. When they separated, both breathing hard, Kalira smiled, fierce and joyful. "We should send Counselor Zyrath a response." "What will you tell her?" "That I found something more important than revolution." Kalira turned to the communication system. "I found home." The response came at dawn, Saturn's light painting the factory area in orange and gold. Marcus and Kalira were sharing coffee, her head on his shoulder when the Imperial seal appeared. Emperor Vorak himself appeared, tall, severe, elegant to the point of not looking human. "Kalira," he said, his voice making the workshop equipment hum. "Father, I've received Counselor Zyrath's report of your refusal. I've also reviewed recordings of your work." His expression was unreadable. "It appears I made a mistake in my judgment of you." "You made many mistakes," Kalira said quietly. Surprise flickered in the Emperor's eyes. "Indeed, which is why I'm making this communication personally. The Science Directorate's offer stands, but I'll add to it. Accept, and I'll personally give back your royal status. You'll get rooms in the upper palace. Your achievements will be formally recognized. Your physical condition will be overlooked in light of your technical contributions." "Overlooked," Kalira repeated hollowly. "Yes, The Empire can be flexible when talent demands it. You sent me away, Kalira said, each word precise as a knife. You sent me to these humans as an insult. You wanted me to suffer, to fail, to disappear so completely that even my memory would become a joke. She stood, pulling Marcus up with her. And I almost did. I almost let myself disappear. Kalira. But then something happened you didn't expect. These primitives you hold in hate. One of them saw me, really saw me. Not my body, not my failures. He saw my mind, my heart, my worth. Her voice got stronger. And he loved me not despite what I am, but because of it. The Emperor's look shifted to Marcus, cold, judging. This human, this mechanic. This human, Kalira confirmed, who has more honor in his smallest finger than you have in your entire empire. Vorak's expression got hard. You would choose this primitive life over restoration, over recognition, over redemption. I would choose love over cruelty, community over empire, being wanted over being tolerated. Kalira's voice rang clear. You offer everything I thought I needed, but Marcus offered the one thing you never did. He offered me value without conditions. The Emperor was silent for a long moment. Then you are more foolish than I believed. Perhaps. Kalira's smile was sad. Or perhaps I'm the only one in our family who understands what actually matters. If you refuse, there will be no third chance. You will stay in exile. The Science Directorate will not offer this again. I understand. And when this human dies, Vorak continued, voice cruel now. As all humans do, their lives flickering past in mere decades, you will have given up empire for a love that will end before you reach middle age. Kalira flinched. Draconians lived for centuries. Humans were lucky to see 80 years. It was a truth they hadn't talked about, but her voice didn't shake. Then I will have decades of being loved truly, which is more than you've had in 3 centuries of rule. The Emperor's face went blank. For a moment, Marcus thought he might get angry. Instead, Vorak nodded slowly. You are your mother's daughter. She too chose foolishly, and she too paid the price. My mother chose you, Kalira said, and you made her life miserable. So maybe my foolishness is an improvement. Farewell, daughter. When you change your mind, the Empire may no longer be interested. I won't change my mind. We shall see. The message ended. Kalira fell into Marcus's arms, her whole body shaking, not with tears but with relief, with fear, with how huge what she'd done was. I burned it, she whispered. I burned every bridge. There's no going back. Do you want to go back? No. She pulled away to look at him, golden eyes fierce. But he was right about one thing. You'll die, Marcus, decades before me. I'll watch you age, watch you fade. Hey, he touched her face. We don't know what's going to happen. Medical technology gets better. Maybe they'll figure out life extension. Or maybe we'll have 30 or 40 years of being super happy together. And when I'm old and grey and you're still beautiful, you'll tell me about the time you chose a mediocre mechanic over an empire. You're not mediocre. I'm not an empire either. She laughed through tears. No, you're better. They stood there holding each other as Titan's faraway sun made long shadows. Outside, the colony continued its endless work of survival. But in that workshop, 2 people who should never have met, who should never have mattered to each other, had found something empires couldn't measure and rules couldn't define. They'd found home. Epilogue. The weight we choose. 5 years passed. The changed storage room became a home filled with science journals and music from 2 worlds. The workshop became legendary throughout the colony. The place where the human mechanic and the draconian princess did miracles with junk metal and impossible math. New Cascade did great. Other colonies asked for Kalira's help. Offers came. Better jobs, more resources, recognition finally flowing like water. They refused them all. Marcus's hair began showing grey at the sides. Kalira looked exactly the same, would look the same for decades, for centuries. Sometimes late at night he'd catch her watching him with something like sadness in her golden eyes. But then morning would come. They'd share terrible coffee. She'd hum while looking at drawings. He'd make her laugh with silly observations about quantum mechanics. And for another day, they'd choose each other over everything else. One evening, as gas rain fell in slow motion against their window, Kalira spoke quietly. "Do you regret it? That I stayed?" Marcus pulled her closer. Every single day. She got tense and he felt her heartbeat speed up. "I regret that you had to make that choice at all," he continued softly. "That you had to choose between recognition and love, as if the universe couldn't give you both. I regret that you'll have to watch me age while you stay young. I regret that our time together is measured in decades instead of centuries." He lifted her chin up, meeting those golden eyes. "But do I regret that you're here, that you chose this, that every morning I wake up next to the most brilliant person in 700 worlds who somehow decided a mediocre mechanic was worth more than an empire?" He smiled. Not for a single second. "You're not mediocre," she whispered as she always did. "And you're not a joke," he whispered back. "You never were." She kissed him then, and in that kiss was everything they'd built. A home made not of walls but of being seen, being valued, being loved. Not despite who they were, but because of it. Outside, Saturn hung in Titan's sky like a jewel. The colony breathed recycled air. Air machines hummed. 30,000 people lived and laughed, and never knew that their survival depended on a princess who'd been sent as an insult, and a mechanic who'd seen past the joke to the miracle underneath. In the end, maybe that was the real story. Not that she'd given up an empire for love, but that she'd found something empires could never offer. A place where she didn't have to be perfect or elegant or acceptable. A place where she could simply be herself. And maybe, just maybe, that was worth more than all 700 worlds combined. In a universe built on pride and looks, sometimes a single act of seeing someone truly is enough to shift the stars themselves. And sometimes the weight we choose to carry is lighter than the weight we're forced to bear.